I was talking with a client in a session. She reached over and took a glass of water and had a sip. Her face became very distressed. She started to rub her palms on her thighs. I asked her, "What's going on for you?" And she said, with tears streaming down her face, "I'm so afraid this sip of water is going to make me gain weight."
People don't really understand the seriousness of eating disorders. They think that eating disorders are a choice, or that it's just a diet gone too far, or that they can just stop or heal everything by just eating.
Nobody makes a choice to have an eating disorder. An eating disorder is very, very painful, and it disrupts people's lives.
These sufferers do not wake up and say, "Wow, I'm going to have an eating disorder."
I had a few people say, "Oh, I wish I had just a little bit of what you have. You can't be just a little bit pregnant. You can't be just a little bit anorexic."
There were many different steps that turned what were smaller, unhealthier behaviors into something that was out of control.
It is something that takes over your whole life. It is something that is a very serious illness.
With our daughter, as sick as she is, she's not choosing this. She doesn't want to die, but she doesn't know how to get out of it.
I think a lot of us are really fighting, even though it may not look like it. It takes everything sometimes to just get out of bed and not hurt yourself right away. As it goes on, it really takes on a mind of its own, and it's no longer under our control.
About 70% of the cause of anorexia nervosa we know is now attributable to your genes, and 30% seems to be related to your environmental experience. And the way to understand it is that genes load the gun and the environment pulls the trigger.
What can happen for some people with eating disorders is they have a traumatic event, they find ways to soothe themselves or to feel better. We're all trying to feel better, and they find a way to feel better either by restricting or by binge purge or by overeating, and then those neural pathways become strengthened the more and more somebody feels a relief.
Because once it gets going, it develops a life of its own. So we're trying to identify what those brain mechanisms are so that we can actually then target treatment towards those brain mechanisms.
What is so challenging is to work with people to find ways so that they can feel calm and settled without engaging those behaviors.
Even though you don't have measurable results, maybe just still believe in the person who's struggling and support them as best as you can.